Hi, guys. Welcome back to my podcast, Grabbing Coffee with Arun. And my name is Arun Gala, and my special guest today is Frank Busch. Frank is a veteran of the military, and also he taught at Louisiana Tech. Um, just to start off with, Frank, welcome to the program.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
And so, Frank, tell me a little bit about your background. What was life like when you were young, a young person?
Well, I was born during the Depression and uh, didn't really feel anything about that because I just thought the way we lived was the way people lived. And I was in a small town. My father had a store and my mother taught, and that was the way the family uh, lived. And I have an older sister and two younger brothers, and they were able to send all of us to college after we completed our high school diplomas
What kind of store did your father have?
at a drugstore. He was a veterinarian, not a veterinarian, but a
A pharmacist?
pharmacist
Mm-hmm.
in the army. He was in the Navy,
Oh, wow.
and after he got out, he knew a lot about medicine, but he did not have a pharmaceutical degree, and but he could buy medicines that people needed. There were not all the restrictions that are on medicine today.
Yeah. What town were you born in, Frank?
In Mont Belvieu, Texas, about
Montville.
30 miles out of Houston, east of Houston on I-10. Uh, it uh, is was close to Baytown, Texas, and then uh, the other direction was Dayton,
Right.
Texas.
So what about when did you go to the military?
I did 4 years of college,
Mm-hmm.
and my board allowed me another year before I would be drafted. So I got my master's degree at Indiana University,
Man, you're smart.
and uh, then I went in the military, and I went to boot camp. And at the end of boot camp, I was sent to Fort Benjamin Harrison to learn how accounting and shorthand and typewriting, and I already was had a good knowledge and ability of all of those fields. So they put me in back in pipeline, and while I was in pipeline, I stayed at Benjamin Harrison and served under a major who had a graduation.
Mm-hmm.
We had various schools, and they graduated students after they reached a certain level, and we had a little graduation program. And I played the organ to march the people in for the program, and then I helped the major hand out degrees that people earned, and then played the organ to get everybody out of the place. So the major and I had a good working relationship, and uh, I also served a major uh, who was writing a history
Mm-hmm.
of Fort Benjamin Harrison, and
Wow.
I would take dictation during the day and then type up the material in the evening.
Was that at the Pentagon? No.
No, this was still at Fort Benjamin Harrison.
Oh, okay.
At the end, at the beginning of the summer, I was sent to the Pentagon,
Mm-hmm.
and because I had the skills of shorthand typewriting
Mm-hmm.
and clerical program and accounting. So when I got there, they weren't ready for me, and so I uh, served uh, in different ways in different organizations until the fall. And when I was assigned to four-star General J. Lawton Collins, who at that time was the military uh, person who worked with NATO, and
Mm-hmm.
NATO was stationed in Paris at that time. So I flew with him several times to Paris to work for uh, 2 or 3 weeks, as long as we were needed, and
I
we
didn't know
were
all
in.
this about you, Frank.
Yeah,
Oh.
this we were located in the Palais de Chaillot,
Mm-hmm.
which is close to the Eiffel Tower and the National Military
Mm-hmm.
Academy. And when special people would come to Paris, the Academy would put on parade, and we were right in a position to see all of those parades and enjoy them.
Right, but you didn't see any actual combat, I guess, right?
But
You didn't see any actual combat, I guess.
only if two of the people that were working with us got in a fight,
I
that
know
would
that's
be
right.
the only combat we had.
Right, right.
Uh,
So how did you tell me, was there anything else with the military, or did we, after the military, you went on to, how did you end up at Louisiana Tech?
well, after the military, I had to get out of the military at uh, in the fall, uh, in August, so I could start with. Most of the school started in late August, and I had to find a school that would give me a job at that time of the year. Most schools had, or a lot of schools had gotten all their teachers, but I found out that in St. Louis there were openings, and so I took a job teaching business subjects at the brand new technical high school
Mm-hmm.
in St. Louis, and taught there for a year. Then decided to go back and start my doctorate, and did the coursework.
Mm-hmm.
And after the coursework, well, during the coursework, I decided to take a year off and uh, go home and spend a year or two while my brother was in high school and playing football. I got to watch him,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, one of those years I was there, I served in as a business teacher at uh, Sam Houston State
Oh,
uh,
really? Okay.
while I was there, and then after that I went back to uh, Indiana, and started work on my doc,
PhD.
the dissertation,
Mm-hmm.
and then I met some people from Louisiana Tech, and they asked me if I would be interested in a job, and I said, sure, I would like to teach wherever I could find an opening. And so they offered me a job at Tech, and I went down and took the job with the understanding that I had to finish my degree and that I would need to have some time to work on my dissertation.
Mm-hmm.
And it all worked well. I enjoyed teaching there, and uh, finally finished my uh, thesis in 1974. And
So did you join them the following year?
did I do what?
Did you join Louisiana Tech the following year?
No. Oh, yeah. After I was actually, like I said, I was at Tech,
Mm-hmm.
but I was working on my thesis, and
Oh, okay.
but I had to go back to Indiana to finish all of the paperwork that goes with a doctorate. So
How many years did you teach at Louisiana Tech?
out of 33, I
A
went
long
there in
time.
1966 and
Mm.
taught until 1999.
What courses did you teach?
I taught undergraduate classes in Intro to Business. We had a lot of students that came to the School of Business after they finished their undergraduate degree. Like a lot, the school was originally an engineering school,
Mm-hmm.
and those people who graduated with engineering degrees didn't have any business knowledge or experience, so they would come over and take the intro business class
Mm-hmm.
so they could know as much about the various areas of business as we could teach them in the semester that we had them. But that was an interesting experience. And I also worked with graduate students who were teaching
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, freshman classes and worked with them about how to teach the courses. My undergraduate program, part of it was in business education, and I taught classes for the College of Education on how to teach business, and then uh, went out and observed the students that I taught in high school to see how well they were teaching during the semester that they did their practice teaching.
So, Frank, Louisiana Tech wasn't that big. It's still not a big school, right? It's
No,
kind of
it's
small.
not, and it has become a very excellent school
Mm-hmm.
academically. It was good when I was there, but it's uh, reaching a much higher plane now. You have to have a pretty high degree, a high score on the various tests that you take.
I guess I wouldn't be.
Uh,
I guess I wouldn't be able to get in.
but the enrollment now is down around 8,000.
Yeah. So
They've
where is that in Ruston, Louisiana?
yes,
Okay.
that's
Okay.
in Ruston, which is in the north, the central part of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and it's about 50 miles below Little Rock, so it's very north in the state of Louisiana. Most people only know about New Orleans, and
Baton Rouge, and
that's right.
okay. So after you retired, in what year from
I
Louisiana Tech?
retired in '99.
Was it been? Oh my God, really? It didn't seem like it
Yeah,
was that long ago. That was
yeah,
26 years ago. And then from there you
that's
moved.
right.
So after that, what did you do after you retired?
I bought a 3 bedroom home on Wilcrest Street in Houston
Hmm.
and lived there for until about 2020. Let's see, I guess uh, 2018 or so,
Hmm.
and went as moved into a retirement home
Hmm.
when I was 90, and uh, lived in the independent uh, section of
Hmm.
that home, and I lived there for 4 years, and then my family uh, suggested, thought that it would be a good idea for me to come up to North Houston and get in a retirement place here so I could be close to my relatives who lived in North Houston. And they were somebody I could call on when I needed help. I didn't have any relatives like that in uh, the area of Houston that I lived in at that time.
I'll tell you what, Frank, you had a very fascinating life. I mean,
Well, I did. I had a great military experience, and
hmm
I really enjoyed and learned a lot while I was teaching those 33 years at Louisiana Tech. So
let me ask you one last question before we wrap this up. One thing I want to do is tell you thank you very much for your service. That's one thing. Second
you're
thing,
very welcome.
second thing is, what do you tell the younger people of this generation? What would your, I mean, since you're so educated and well experienced, what would you tell the younger generation of this country?
I would tell them to be as honest and good as they can be, and that they should always be inclusive in the things that uh, they do. One of our big problems in the world today is that we are still exclude people that we don't want to associate
Well,
with.
that are different from us, I guess, right?
Right. And so that you should be, everybody should uh, serve their fellow man justly and be as righteous as they can be.
Yeah,
Uh, and if they do those things and live a good life, they'll be happy when they get to the age that they have to retire.
yeah. Well, Frank, to be honest with you, this was an honor to have this conversation with you, and
Well, you're welcome.
I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. And if you guys want to reach me, my email is grabbingcoffee with ARUN at gmail.com. And thanks again, Frank, for your time and your service. And we'll talk soon.
All right.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you.
All right, bye bye.
Bye bye.